What does AFKJourney need? I believe this is part 4. I would say this one's going to be a little bit more subjective for the most part, because I don't really know if I could say it necessarily needs it, but I think it touches on the same principle as how a lot of the main game modes don't have, like, a lot of good boards, essentially. And I'm going to go ahead and just go outside of the normal spectrum here and go ahead and put this thing out here for the viewing public. This here is Reddit, as you very clearly can tell. Reddit, at one point, this user Age Wisdom put out something 10 months ago that stated, was it AFKJourney dashboards, top players, guilds, and Battle Guild ranking. As far as I can tell, I don't think this is being updated at all, but I think the game should have something like this, so that we can determine who are the best players, who to watch out for in the next districts, and also just, in general, to see who's doing the best in this game. Now, I believe I said in the last, video, or perhaps one of the other ones, that in general, whoever has the highest power level usually is going to get the most attention in mostly battle drills. I mean, sorry, not battle drills. No one cares about that. Guild and Dream Realm. But I think for every type of game mode, besides maybe Arena, because Arena is kind of very specific, like it's isolated as hell, there should be like some way to see the statistics of how everyone is doing and who is doing the best. And right now, besides the community, especially when it comes down to the community, like focusing on, what's it called? The community focusing on usually just what is the best team for this thing, no one really pays attention to this. The only ways I know where there are some strong, powerful guilds is by being in past districts with them. Like, I was in a district with Radiant Art. I'm currently in a district with a pretty strong guild as it is now. We were in a district with a guild that was pretty much almost on par with us at one point. That's the only way I would know anything about that. Besides, like, going onto the community's, like, Discord apps and seeing that there are people from this guild or that guild. But in the end, even then, most of the people that are on the Discord stuff are really more there to, how do I explain it? They're just there to get the stats. They're there to get what is required of the game, because the game doesn't usually provide it. Like, if you don't know what the best Dream Realm team is, or you don't know what the best, runes are, etc. That's where people go. They go to something like Yapala in order to get the information, essentially. Sometimes they'll go to the official Discord, but I've been there, I didn't care for it. And it didn't, as far as I know, I don't think it had anything like that. I could check it at some point, I'm sorry, I'm not sure if I really can be bothered, honestly, at this point. Because I didn't have the greatest experience going there, let's just say that. I don't really feel like I'm going to have a great experience going there again. But enough of that. Basic concept is that I'm showing this because this would basically tell you, like, the stats and the players and what's the leaderboards for specific things. This was like the leaderboards for, what's it called? Flashbang. This is the leaderboards for Season 3, where it would show, like, here's, like, the profile image of the character names of people and how many points they usually had, like usually in Dream Realm, etc. like that. And this was for like 3 seasons ago at this point. So it's hard to really like claim this is accurate or important anymore, because it's not. Because, it's been 10 months. I don't think anyone's keeping up with this information. No one's showing this information, especially if it's like PvP information. Nobody cares about the ranks or whatnot. No one cares about anything like that. So basically, all you have to go off of is if you happen to have already seen who's the top ranking in any particular thing, in any game mode, and see how often they are at the top of something. That's the best you can do, other than like who was the top of guild supremacy at the end of your season. But that's like the only 2 things you can go off of, which is kind of stupid to me. There should be some way, in my opinion, to, showcase this. There should be some way that we can see this and actually do something with it, as opposed to just, accepting this because that's what they say. What the heck? There we go. I think that, honestly, I don't understand why it is the game doesn't, like, encourage you to do this, encourage you to strive forward with rewards, with making things simple, with, trying to get people to be competitive in some way by giving them, like, rewards for how long they've been on a thing, for, having the data for who has been the best at this particular thing. I realize that there are certain servers at certain stages. Then, at those stages, you say who was the top at that stage, who was the top at this stage, who is the top at freaking, one of the newer servers, who was the top for the newer servers. It would be interesting to see this information. I feel like they have the stats for this lying around somewhere, but, will they do anything about it? Probably not. So that's really all there is this time. So I think that it's a short video, but that's my opinion. I think that there should be some way to determine the stats of who are the best players, who are the best guilds, who's doing the most damage, etc. Even if generally we know that's usually going to be whales doing the most. In general, it would be nice to see that. I think that it would be really important for this game to have some reason for people to compete, considering that from the fact that I have completed AFK stages at this point, I had to do something I didn't like. I had to spend a good amount of money in order to accomplish this. I completed AFK stages because I literally had to spend money to upgrade the newest freaking hero to a point where they could basically get through some of the stages that wouldn't work otherwise. And I really regret having to do that because I didn't want to build this character right now. I wanted to build it later. But with how the game is going, with how pay-to-win it is becoming, I legitimately think that there needs to be something that, like, tells the players, the free-to-play players, just any players in general, that there's some way to continue in this game, some way points, and see if you can get closer to those points, etc. Like, there should be some incentive, some hope, I guess, that they can strive to this particular point, even if it's not updated all the time, Seeing what the highest point is and trying to, like, reach that kind of thing. Sort of like Mount Everest, in a way, trying to get to the peak. I realize most players aren't going to do that, most people don't care, and one of the reasons is because the game is kind of encouraging apathy and just relax and do nothing, except at the same time, if you're not at the top of the scoreboard, you're not going to get the rewards and whatnot. It don't really matter too much. So it's kind of one of those things where there's no easy win, there's no easy answer to it all, really. I don't know. To me, I just think what they should do is they should release stats for who are the best players, what's the best scores, what's the best things, so that people can strive towards it to get, like, the best results. That's my personal opinion. It's probably not the greatest opinion. It's probably not really a necessary need, but I feel like with how pay to win the game is getting, that people would be interesting to see it, sort of like fantasy football or stuff like that, so they can at least, observe who is at the top and root for whoever they think is the best guilds doing the best things. I mean, as far as I could tell, they're already going to have, like, a game mode where you can watch the progress of other people's, like, fights and whatever, even if you're not the one participating in it, to see who gets to the top, so I feel like the stats make sense to me. Anyway, that's about it. See you later.